Hey, I am alive and super bright. Sorry about that. Hi, what is up, guys? This is my first scheduled live. So here I am. Got lots to talk about today. Lots of channel stuff because I am 1 year a channel in July, which is very interesting for me. I was a YouTuber before I did a true crime channel, but kids channel. It was with my daughter, and so I was learning a lot on that and kind of transferred it over to true crime. So 1 year. Let me see when my first video. I have this all written down. My first video was July 5th, 2021. So it's a year, July 5th, that I have been a channel. My first video was Tony Anderson. And if you're local to KC, you kind of know that case a little. But it was interesting for me to do that case. I drove to where it happened and took some footage, and I just kind of started talking, honestly, about true crime and about the things that I like. And I was like, if people like this, cool. If they don't, then I'll stop eventually. But I just kind of started talking with people, and so that's what I did. And here I am later. We've grown quite a bit. So July 5th was my year. So I went back through just myself and started kind of walking down memory lane with all the things that I have done. And I'm just super proud of how far I've come with this channel. Because like I said, I started and I didn't really know what I was doing. I had been a year on YouTube on another channel, but I was winging the true crime thing. I was winging really being my own channel. And so I go back and I look, and like my most popular video was Cassie Rainwater. And I adore that case. I think it was really important. I just look at how far I've grown since Cassie Rainwater. And there's been a couple of you who have grown with me since then. And you came to my channel when I started talking about Cassie Rainwater. And just think, I look back and I'm like, I'm just so different than I was. Let me play with the lights here a little. I was so different than I am now. I knew nothing. My research wasn't as good. I just sat down and talked. And now I feel like I go through kind of the steps of being a reporter. And I did back then too. Like I was trying to find credible sources, and I would separate like rumor from fact. And I was really good at that. But now I am so much better. I go try to find different opinions. I say this is opinion and not, this is fact. Because I care about you guys and I want you guys to have the correct information. And so I really pride myself on that. So Cassie Rainwater came out October 4th, 2021. And I remember when I first did true crime, I said, I'm not going to do newer cases. I knew it was hard to do updates. I knew it was hard to find facts. So I was just going to do older stuff. And then, sorry, that's why I'm drinking chocolate milk. This is the beauty of live. You get to see me drink. But I tried to find stuff about Cassidy Rainwater because I was interested. So Cassidy Rainwater was a girl that went missing in Missouri, and I live in Kansas City, and it was pretty close to me. And I was just interested because the case just kept getting stranger and stranger. And I remember going on and like trying to find information about Cassidy Rainwater, and there was just like nothing. And I'm like, as a fan of true crime, I want to know this, so I'm just gonna make it, right? So I'm just gonna make the video. I made the video, and it became very, very popular. The case became very, very popular. The video became very, very popular, and I did not expect that at all. And so it was like kind of a little bit of my first taste of like, not really a viral video because I've never had a viral video, but something that was popular and something where people scrutinized. And they really did with Cassidy Rainwater. I got some hate. And so it was my first time dealing with that. And I was really trying to navigate that. And I think now I do way better than I did before. Now I'm like, you know, as long as I do the victims and the victims' families good, I just kind of like whatever everybody else thinks is not important. Which is true. So that was Cassidy Rainwater's journey. And like I said, some of my most awesome friends and community came through. And I look back now and I was like, I was trying to be funny. And it's not funny. But I was trying to be witty. I was trying to be different. I was trying too hard in those earlier videos. I was trying to be something that I'm not. And so I think I've definitely come a long way, and it takes practice. Like sitting down and talking to literally no one, which is what I'm doing right now, is the hardest thing in the world. It really is. Yeah, it's tough. You get no feedback and you're just like, am I doing okay? Am I not? And I also took those hard comments very hard. And I've learned now that it's just people trying to get attention. So as I was looking back, I was like, what's my favorite video that I've ever done? And I have many. I have ones that I say every video, I'm like, oh, this one's really, really good. Because I put so much love, I put research, I put time into every single video. And so every one becomes my favorite and becomes something that I love and I have a connection to. My favorite video I've ever done is the Car Brother video. And that came out August 6th, 2021. That video, that research, I was very proud of. I did a lot to try to find facts, try to find things that people didn't know. I really, really tried to make that video the absolute best that I could. And it was such a personal video because it was so close to home and I heard about it. And so I think that's my favorite. And if you haven't seen it, it's like my third video on my channel. But yeah, it's picked up a little bit of steam since then. I think people were like, oh, I don't know this case. And they got into it and they're like, whoa. So that's probably my favorite. So then this year came the podcast. And it was very interesting how it all worked out. So I got an email, or I guess a DM kind of, and it was Joe from The Joe Show. And this was a podcast, and I had never heard of it. It's a smaller podcast. And he said, hey, I saw your video on Cassie Rainwater. It's a crazy case, and I want you to come on my podcast and talk about true crime and about Cassie Rainwater. And so I was like, I'm not this. Like, I'm not, I just sit down and talk to a computer. Like, I wasn't really ready, I don't think. But I went on twice, I believe, on his podcast. And after, I was like, wow, we're really good. I'm really good at this podcasting thing. And I didn't think that I would be, because it is hard. Podcast and coming up with research and coming up with topics is extremely hard. So I was kind of like, am I cut out for this? The podcast, we did a bunch of different episodes before we even premiered. So we were stocked up a month probably in advance with episodes and cases. And I just literally in front of me saw how much the podcast grew in just a couple of weeks. And so it came out on April 5th. Our first podcast was Terry. It was a survival story. If you haven't heard it, go listen. The story is really, really good. But we just got better and better. And about third episode, probably, I was like, I want to change up my format. I want to make this more suspenseful. I want to make this just different from a lot of podcasts that I listen to. So I changed the format, and it was like boom, boom, bam, like we had something. And Joe and I talk about it now that like our flow came pretty easy. But those first couple episodes, it was so hard because I would talk and I wasn't, like, he would talk, and it was just trying to find the rhythm. And it's just so much better now. And I've seen just the podcast grow in a few months, and that's really, really cool to me. So I think that as a channel, I have grown in a lot of different ways. As a person through this process, I have grown in a lot of different ways. I think as a channel, I have grown and done better research, better topics, better everything. I think I pick now what needs to be covered and not what everyone else wants to hear. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Everybody likes a different kind of sauce on their nuggets. Maybe I'm not your sauce. And that's fine. Go find a different sauce. So that has definitely grown. Yeah, I think that I might do a video on YouTube and the process of YouTube, because there's so much to it. there's so much to it that people don't really account for. It's fun. I'm not saying it's not fun. It is. This is my favorite job ever. Financially, you take a hit. Like, you have to know that, because all your time, all your effort, all your money, everything goes into growing. And that becomes very, very difficult. Speaking of that, I want to make this my job. I want to give you guys the best content I can give you. I want to grow with y'all. I want the people who started with me to grow with me. And I have chosen very kind of reluctantly to do a Patreon. So let me tell you about what Patreon is. Patreon is a site that allows me to charge for some of my content. Now, if you don't want to put any money in to this relationship, fine with me. I'm still going to make a video every Saturday. I'm still going to make a podcast every Tuesday. I am just going to do extra for people who want the extra. So Patreon allows me to give you extra things as well. So there are 3 levels to Patreon. I am just doing what the levels that Patreon suggests. So I can change that. If you come to me as a community and you say, this is too expensive, this is, not worth it for me, this is da-da-da-da-da, I can change it and I can listen to you. But for right now, there's a $5 level, there's a $10 level, and there's a $20 level. On the $5 level, you will get videos early. So let's say that I did a 2-parter and you want to hear that 2-part now and not next week. It'll be out early for you. Every week you can get my content a day earlier or a couple days earlier, what have you. So that's level 1, $5. Level 2 is bonus videos. I want to add somewhere where you can do case suggestions. Any movies that I make or larger cases I research, you will get that. I want to put also like bloopers, funny outtakes of me and Joe, and also just me. Some of that bonusy stuff will be on there as well. And I don't know if that'll be $5, $10 or $20 level. I'm still filling it out. Also, I want to be able to rep Code 187. So I'm working on trying to get a merch line, and Patreon will allow me to do that. And it will allow you guys to get merch as well on those levels. So the Patreon is coming. I've created it. It is under Code 187. Now, will I change it? Maybe. I don't know. I suggest not going at it yet because I'm not fully ready. I don't have anything on there. Wait until I tell you. Way when you do pay, you get the full benefits of it. But that's a way for you guys to be able to help me continue to give you good stuff, because I'm gonna have to get a job and be a grown-up, and it takes a lot of time away from me being able to give you guys good stuff. So Patreon is coming. I want to ask you guys, for the Patreon and also for my channel, what would you guys like to see most? I was thinking like a monthly news video where I kind of talk about a bunch of different news, big news cases from that month and updates. And that would be like a monthly thing on Patreon. How do you guys feel about that? Would you want to see a monthly news video where I cover big cases, or would you want to just see a bonus case? So I just, have suggestions or bonus cases or whatever. I want you guys to be able to be more involved with case suggestions. I go through and I take your guys' advice for sure. I want to make what you want to see, but I can't always get to everyone. And I would for sure do Patreon suggestions first. So if you like to suggest cases and see those, Patreon just might be the place for you. So what do you guys think on that? Tell me in the comments below what you want to see for that extra content. Also, tell me your thoughts on Patreon, if it's something that you are interested in or not. And we'll just kind of go from there. I'm navigating, trying to figure out this kind of stuff. So, yeah. What do you guys like? So, I have a lot of different idols when it comes to podcasting, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to true crime in general. I have a lot of people that I take suggestions or I take little bits from. I will tell you, I watch comedy quite a bit. And I take a lot of filmmaking or video making things out of comedy. Zoom ins and those little clips that I've been posting, those are all kind of things that I have grabbed from other content creators and kind of molded it into my own. My number one content creator, I will watch everything he puts out, is Brandon Ferris. My daughter watches it because it's not like, a lot of cursing. I watch it. It's something that makes me laugh and makes me have a good day. And he also gives such good advice about content creating. And he's very inspirational for me because he started out homeless and not doing this for a living. And he has grown to be very successful. So I definitely look up to Brandon Ferris. And I take little bits and stuff from him. I definitely look up to the popular true crime YouTubers, Bailey Sarian, Kendall Ray. I love her stuff as well. I love Kendall Ray because she kind of goes further. She is one that her research is amazing. So if you don't know her, podcasters. So podcasting is new to me, but I have definitely, kind of been listening to more podcasts. I listened to true crime podcasts years ago. So I started with Crime Junkie. Love Crime Junkie. I love Ashley Flowers. And then I went to Morbid. Morbid is kind of the model for Code 187 in a way. Very similar. And then I also listen to like True Crime Obsessed. I like them as well, but they're not like my top two. So I listen to those. And then outside of true crime, I listen to Taste Buds and Hey Babe. I don't always agree politically with Krista Stefano, but I love their comedic value. And so I take little bits and pieces of their podcast into my filmmaking and my content creation. Because content creation is all about making it your own, yes, but also seeing what's out there and not molding yourself after. That's like a really strong word, but taking inspiration from different creators. So I've definitely been doing a lot of that. I will tell you, my goal in life is to be a documentary filmmaker. I would love to make my own documentary. I want to sit down with witnesses and family members and get their stories and be able to make this beautiful piece of artwork for the victims' families and for the victims. That is my whole goal in life. And that's why I'm so passionate about having you guys go along with me, is because when I get there, I can celebrate with you guys. And we can all be like, look at how far Code 187 has come. And maybe I'll throw a big party and just invite all of you guys. You can just hang out with me. But that is my goal. So I definitely want to do that. Let's see. So I have been trying to find different creators, different documentaries, different dramatic filmmaking that I can pull from. So if you have any suggestions for me on YouTubers, podcasters, filmmakers, whatever, please post them below. But part of that Patreon is I want to start making short films. I want to start making longer content. And I'm going to dump that on Patreon. And since my effort is going into all that and my time, so be able to give you guys some really good stuff. So there's that. Now, who wants to talk true crime news? Because there's some updates. I don't know if you guys watch every video that I post. Hopefully you do. But I posted a video last week or the week before on Caitlin Armstrong and the love triangle between these professional mountain bikers. So basically what happened, you got to go watch the video, but is one girl was dating a guy and the other girl started dating him, and they kind of became this love triangle competition. And Caitlin Armstrong killed the other woman. She has been captured. They have her, I think they caught her in like Costa Rica, I believe. So she's gonna get her dues, which I think is really good. I was kind of wondering if this was going to be a Brian Laundrie situation where he was going to end, or she was going to end up killing herself and not, serving justice. So I'm very glad that she's been captured. Maybe we can get a few more answers into what this whole thing was and how much the boyfriend knew too. So there's that. That was big news. I saw it yesterday and I was like, oh, I got to do an update because, that case was crazy. And I remember thinking it as I was doing it was like, what is going on with these bikers and this situation? So that was intense. R. Kelly was sentenced, which he's pedophile and had a lot of different rape cases against him as well as human trafficking. He got 30 years. So that's good. I think he should have probably gotten more. But it is kind of what it is. So he's going to go away for 30 years. They said today he was on suicide watch, and I'm like, he should be. So yeah, there's that. What else is going on? So, of course, if you don't know, which you should, Roe versus Wade was overturned. And you guys know politically what kind of where I'm at. I believe in the women's right to choose, and so it hit as a very hard thing. There's been some comments made against the LGBTQ community, which I'm part of. That took a hit. It's just a sad world that we live in right now. And sometimes I'm just like, is it going to get any better? You know? And that's why I think content creation and what I do is important. It's important for me. My mental health needs the break sometimes. It really does. And so, I don't know. I just hope that things get better. Things, I don't know. It's just rough. It's really rough right now. I'm sure you guys feel it too. All right. Well, 30 minutes into the live. I'm sure a lot of you guys are working. I wanted to kind of get this stuff out and tell you guys about Patreon and tell you guys about the things that I'm doing. I will have another video tomorrow. It's a good one, but I always say that. But it is a really good case. It's one of those twisty-turvy, what's going on here cases. I'm working on it now, and I will have it uploaded for tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a really good day. I wish you all well, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know if you want another scheduled live, and tell me what times are good. Probably after 5 for some of y'all, huh? All right, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining me.